A very warm welcome to all of you to the Volunteer of the Year Awards. This is a really important event which celebrates the incredible volunteering achievements of our staff, students and alumni from across the university. This year it's particularly important because so many volunteers have stepped up and undertaken remarkable volunteering to support communities through the COVID-19 pandemic. While many aspects of our life have had to stop, volunteers have continued to ensure that those who need support, including some of the most isolated and vulnerable in our society, have continued to receive the help they need. Volunteering has been an outstanding example of how many members of the university community have, in the past year, demonstrated our third goal of social responsibility. So here are just some of the remarkable volunteers who've made a difference throughout this pandemic. Thank you to all of you.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a fourth year medic at the University of Manchester, and I'm one of hundreds of healthcare students who are giving up their time to help support the families of key workers who need to go and support our NHS.
Last summer I volunteered with Fair Share and I was a warehouse assistant, so I basically met the various leaders of different local organisations and just helped to tell them what supplies they might need.
So Reach Out is a mentoring charity. I got paired up with a year 5 pupil and was basically trying to help improve their confidence, and we work on character strengths over the weeks.
We're basically creating an online platform. Project itself is called Beacon Project, and it is for members of the BAME community to share their experiences.
We also think that COVID has been really isolating, so we wanted to create a community that people could access just by going on the internet to share their views and their experiences.
So the volunteering that I've been doing at Master Tree is coming here in person once a week and helping out with the food club, which means providing those in need with food supplies.
So I was an online language volunteer at BRZ Connection, which is a non-profit based in Brazil. So I basically taught English to a group of 4 to 5 Brazilian kids. I did this 2 times a week.
This year I've been volunteering with Intergen, the intergenerational project, and that's been about calling elderly people during the pandemic to make sure they're not feeling isolated and alone.
Since the start of the pandemic, hundreds of Manchester students have volunteered for a charity called Post Pals. They've sent cards and gifts, support and friendship through the post from home to seriously ill children and their siblings. They've written postcards, sent letters, drawings, hand-drawn comic strips and even knitted toys to help put a smile on their Post Pals faces during this difficult time.
So this year I've signed up to St John's Ambulance and been doing the COVID vaccinating role. It's been a really amazing role. It's been a lot of training, but I've been able to do a few shifts at the Etihad Hypercentre and vaccinating anyone from young people to older people coming in for their second doses, and we've been able to give them loads of different resources to help them with their vaccination journey.
Welcome to the Volunteer of the Year Awards 2021. This year, more than ever, has shown just how important volunteers are. Today, we honour the remarkable volunteering work of our alumni, staff and students who have worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic to help support communities and to make a difference. Before we move to our announcements for the Volunteer Awards, we are going to begin today's event by announcing the winners of our Social Justice Photography competition. This competition is part of our Ethical Grand Challenges programme, which develops socially responsible graduates. Our students graduate not only as great historians, pharmacists or engineers, but as global citizens who understand and are able to contribute to key challenges facing society. All undergraduate and postgraduate taught students were invited to take part in the competition by submitting a photo which highlighted an issue of social justice that matters to them. Despite the pandemic, we received over 100 entries, making it a record-breaking year for the competition. That's a fantastic testimony to the creativity and social awareness of our students. Entries were shortlisted by a panel of judges, which included staff from across the university, the Whitworth Art Gallery and design agency Blush. A shortlist of 4 photos went to a public vote through Facebook and Instagram, and within a week, over 4,500 votes were collected. So the competition has engaged thousands of people with the social justice issues highlighted by our students. So now for our winners. The runner-up is Archie Richards from the School of Natural Sciences for the photo Frack Off. The third place student who wins £100 is Yaojing Huang from the School of Social Sciences for the photo Lonely Old Man. The second place student who wins £200 is Matvey Goodenough from the School of Social Sciences for the photo Prisoner of Conscience. The student with the most votes, and therefore our grand prize winner of £400, is Linda Odo from the School of Health Sciences for the image Left Behind. Congratulations to all of you for being shortlisted, and thank you for your amazing entries. Earlier this year, we invited nominations for the University of Manchester Volunteer of the Year Awards 2021. The nominations could be made in 4 categories: students, student groups, staff and alumni. Most nominations were about volunteering that took place in Manchester and the UK, but we also had nominations that took place across the globe. All nominations were reviewed by independent judging panels who were looking for evidence of how at least one of the following had been met: demonstration of exceptional leadership skills, actions that created real impact and change, use of innovation to meet a need, and finally, a significant and sustained commitment to community activity. We received a very high quality of nominations. Judges faced a really tough decision in deciding who should be shortlisted and placed. So congratulations must go to everyone who was nominated for their hard work. All those commended, highly commended and placed nominees will each be awarded a certificate, and first, second and third place nominees will also receive financial support for the charities where they volunteer. In addition to the Volunteer of the Year Awards, the overall winners in the individual categories will receive the University Medal for Social Responsibility, which is part of a suite of prestigious presidential awards given each year for distinguished achievement. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to my fellow presenters who will be announcing the winners of each category.
My name is Catherine Leopold and I'm Chair of the Alumni Association at the University of Manchester. One of the best parts of my involvement with alumni is hearing about the extraordinary things that staff, students and alumni get up to. The level of volunteer engagement and dedication across all connected with the university is inspirational, and it makes a huge difference to the lives of so very many people. I'm very honoured to be presenting this Volunteer of the Year award. It was a very strong field and all the nominees deserve recognition. This category recognises the fantastic efforts of our alumni community, and we'll start with our commended nomination. The commended alumna completed a BA in Applied Community and Youth Work Studies. She's acted as a trustee for the charity Bridging the Gap and has been heavily involved in the community response to the pandemic in South Manchester. It's Michelle McHale. Next, we have a highly commended nomination. This highly commended alumnus completed a BA in History and American Studies. A founder of Football for Future, he has built a charity and grown a community which focuses on encouraging sustainability in English football. It's Barnaby Weston. Our third place alumnus studied a BSc in Physics, an MA in Counselling, as well as a PhD in Education. He has been a frontline volunteer helping to distribute food to families during the pandemic and has also helped arrange the donation of high quality face masks to frontline workers. It's Royston A. Flude. Our second place winner studied at master's level in computing digital technologies and also did a PGCE in secondary education. As a Group Scout leader and District Commissioner in Manchester for many years, he has continued to support young people to take part in scouting activities throughout the pandemic, hosting weekly Zoom meetings as well as online camps. It's William Carr. And William, as a parent of 2 scouts who have done Zoom activities, thank you in a very personal way. The winner of the alumni category has a postgraduate diploma in social and pastoral theology. She is founder of not one, but 2 charities, Chifundo UK and Chanasa Malawi. Her volunteering work has helped to empower girls and women in Malawi who need support by funding their education and supporting them to have a sustainable income. As well as setting up the charities, she takes the lead in fundraising, runs workshops, and raises awareness about fair trade issues in the textile and fashion industries.
Susan set up the charity Chifundo UK together with its sister charity in Malawi in 2014. Susan started visiting Malawi in 2005 through her work as a United Reformed Church minister and fell in love with the country and its people. She saw the huge need for women to be given skills and to be able to earn money. Susan's interest in sustainable fashion led to the idea of women in Malawi being trained to sew and then making products from the local cotton, African fabric, and reused denim. As a result of Susan's hard work and sustained effort, we now have 6 groups of unemployed women established in 4 of the poorest suburbs of Blantyre, which is the second city in Malawi. A total of 50 women are in these groups. We pay for them to be trained at a local tailoring school, and the groups are provided with sewing machines and equipment in a rented room to work as a group. Susan works tirelessly to get orders for the women, both in Malawi and here in the UK. Their biggest achievement was to make 1,300 tote bags for an African Studies conference at the University of Edinburgh in 2019, an order which Susan worked extremely hard to obtain. This work makes a big difference to the lives of the women who sew, because it means they can earn some money to be able to buy food and clothes or pay for their children to go to school. Some have been able to get jobs with the skills they've acquired. In 2018, she started a project called the Lotus Project, which involves the women's groups making washable, reusable sanitary towels, which are given to teenage schoolgirls in poor areas. The girls also have menstrual health management training to help them understand their bodies. It's a big problem in Malawi with girls not attending school during their periods. So far, nearly 1,500 girls have been provided with packs and training, and the work for another 500 is ongoing. For the schoolgirls, it means they can attend school more often, and hopefully this will improve their qualifications and their opportunities. Susan is the kind of person who keeps chipping away at something to make sure it happens. She doesn't let something go. If she thinks it's important, she'll work away at it until she has achieved it, until she's enabled others to do what they need to do to make it happen. Susan's interest and desire to help the women and girls in Malawi is unique. Her drive to make a charity work in a country 5,000 miles away is amazing and does not stop. Susan has worked tirelessly to set up these charities, to keep them running and to enable them to grow. Without her, they wouldn't be where they are today. She is a thoroughly deserving winner of this award.
The overall winner of the Volunteer of the Year Award, Alumni category, and recipient of the University Medal for Social Responsibility is Susan Flynn.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophia and I'm a final year dentistry student. In the summer of 2019, I led a team of dental students from the University of Manchester to the northern region of Uganda called Gulu. Whilst there, we collaborated alongside local dentists and medical students to deliver emergency dental care and various medical screenings to remote communities within the region, managing to treat over 700 patients with emergency dental care, seeing thousands of patients for medical screenings and vaccinations. It was truly one of the most rewarding experiences I've had. Being awarded one of the Volunteer of the Year prizes last year was a very proud moment for myself and the team, and we feel proud to be able to therefore announce this year's winners. Without further ado, the next category is student groups. This recognises those groups from 2 to 200 who have worked together to volunteer. We have the 6 commended groups to recognise. The first commended group recorded educational videos that were posted on Manchester Library's YouTube service as part of the STEM Club online activities, and they are Travel Lab. The second commended group adapted to lockdown by offering at-home packing sessions to continue providing sanitary products to women in need, and they are once a month. The third commended award is for a group of students who have adapted their sustainability work remotely with online events and workshops. They are Want, Not Waste. The fourth commended group provides mentoring for sixth form students to help them apply for medical school. This year they have created an online library of videos and presentations. They are MedReach. The next commended group adapted their nighttime safety initiative to support those sleeping rough in Manchester over the past year. They are Student Angels. And the final commended group have continued to volunteer in the homeless shelter in Stockport, cooking a meal together with residents every week. They are Student Action Stockport Food Project. We also have a number of groups that the judges wanted to highly commend. So the first highly commended group support refugees and asylum seekers to practice their spoken English through friendly and informal conversation. They are Student Action Refugee and Asylum Seeker Conversation Club. The second highly commended group provide education to Brazilian young people with low-income families, primarily focusing on languages and culture through their weekly online lessons, and they are BHZ Connection Society. The third highly commended group was set up in response to COVID-19. The scheme provides social support to students who feel lonely or are isolating due to COVID-19. They are Peer Buddy Scheme. The next highly commended group is a new widening participation project. This team helped disadvantaged sixth form students from across the country with applications to dental school. They are Manchester Outreach Dentists. Our final highly commended group runs 5 different social enterprise projects. They use their entrepreneurial skills and business acumen to make a difference to a number of different groups in the local community. They are Enactus Manchester. We now move on to our final placings. Our third place group adapted their supported reading scheme and this year created an online bedtime stories project. They made pre-recorded videos with the exercises and questions to continue helping children with their reading skills. It's Reading Mentors. Our second place winner provides physics workshops at local schools. Since schools shut, however, they have used their initiative to completely retool their workshops so they could be delivered remotely, as well as organising a range of podcasts for British Science Week. It's University of Manchester Physics Outreach. The winner of the student groups matches student volunteers with older members of the community, providing a phone call chat once or twice a week to combat loneliness and social isolation. The scheme was originally launched as a response to the pandemic, but this year has become established as a long-term initiative. The project began with around 30 members of the community and has since expanded by reaching out to local community groups, the local councils and the NHS.
The intergenerational student action projects have existed in some form or another for over 10 years, and they've included things like film afternoons and dance classes, an annual trip out to Blackpool, and it's been something that the members of the group have really enjoyed. So our membership group mainly consists of older people who live locally in the community, and for a lot of them they've been coming to these classes or social events for a number of years and have built a social group around it. This year, the Intergen project had to really change the way that they work to manage with the pandemic and with working with a really vulnerable group. The project leaders got together and they launched the Intergen Buddy Scheme, which is a partner-up project with student volunteers. A student volunteer is matched up with an Intergen member, normally based on some shared hobbies or interests, and the volunteer will call their buddy once or twice a week. The focus is mainly on just friendly conversation, getting to chat to someone new, and a bit of positive encouragement for everyone. For a lot of elderly people, which is the main group that the project works with, the pandemic has taken them away from established routines, social support, friends, even family. And for many people, the interactions they have in a day or a week have been severely limited. For anyone who maybe didn't have a strong support network or who's relied on attending groups or activities, there's a real risk of increasingly poor mental health, feeling lonely, or even falling into depression. For an older person who's part of the project, this scheme might really be a lifeline for them, just someone who's going to check in with them regularly and cheer them up, have a chat, and see how they're doing. I think this project has been so special because it's responded amazingly to a really immediate need from their members when the pandemic started, and it's only got stronger since. It's also given a lot of students the opportunity to support someone from their own home, to use their time in a way that helped someone, and I think both sides have really benefited. The leaders of Intergen have worked so hard to completely rebuild this project in a really short space of time, and it's all been created around the needs of the group that they work with. It's been their motivation and their determination that's really carried the project through. The volunteers can really see that impact that they're having. Even just the small action of a quick chat can change someone's whole day, give them a much needed boost. I think that's something that's really unique about this project. What started out as a crisis project has grown into something really special. We never imagined that the pandemic would be ongoing over a year later, but it's been amazing to see what the project has achieved. Older people are already at a much higher risk of feeling lonely or isolated, and we know that for some of our members, they really look forward to the calls from their buddy because they might be one of the only people that they're speaking to on a regular basis. And it's incredible to see this amazing innovation in a year where everything's so different. It's all been down to the dedication of the project leaders, and it's fantastic to see their hard work recognised.
The overall winner of the Volunteer of the Year Award Student Groups category is Intergen Buddy Scheme.
Hello everyone, I'm Nalin Thacker, Vice President for Social Responsibility. As you know, we've put social responsibility at the heart of our university. Volunteering to help others, to make others' lives better or easier, is an integral part of this and consistent with our values. I'm absolutely delighted to be announcing the winner for the staff category in our Volunteer of the Year Awards. Our highly commended nominee is an Assistant Alumni Officer for the Division of Development and Alumni Relations. She has set up Mums on a Mission, a group which aims to alleviate child poverty by distributing food packages and other essentials around Manchester. It's Madonna Fine-Maguire. We now move on to the final placings in reverse order as is customary. The third place winner is a teaching fellow in the Department of Mathematics. As the administrator for the Italians in Manchester online community, he has helped members to navigate the Brexit process and also provided support with understanding COVID regulations, travel rules, and the services available to members during the pandemic. Is Dr. Cesare Giulio Ardita. In second place is a HR partner in the Directorate of Human Resources. Since 2010, he has been a member of Bolton Mountain Rescue. He works around the clock, leading search and rescue teams, running training, working as an emergency response driver, and taking 999 calls, even over Christmas. He's also a trustee and treasurer of the groups. It's Martin Banks. Finally, the winner of the staff category. She's a research assistant in the School of Engineering. She's the founder of Women in Academia Support Network, which has over 11,000 members worldwide. She leads the strategy and direction of the network to drive a better understanding of equity and access issues in higher education. The network provides a safe space to learn and take action on oppression related to race, disability, sex, and gender-based violence.
Over the past 4 years, she has been an absolute powerhouse of a woman working outside of her usual role as a researcher at the university to develop this professional global network where women can get together and find support and discuss what it's actually like working in academia. Women in Academia Support Network is an online social digital learning network. It's a global network of nearly 12,000 members from PhD all the way up to Vice Chancellor, coming together in peer learning, peer support and understanding to be able to drive change for gender equality in higher education. She saw that there was a need for female-only spaces. What Amy did in setting that up was just putting in so many extra hours into finding out what it is actually that women need from these spaces and working with other people really collaboratively and giving her time to be able to figure out what it is that the members of the network need. Amy started the network just over 4 years ago now. And in those 4 years, she's grown the network to move beyond the United Kingdom, to have an international, global membership. And aligned to the network, we have 140 curated learning units around everything that you would ever need to navigate a career in academia. So Amy's supported people to do learning around race, disability, class, gender in academia, as well as providing support and resources. The network has been fantastic for mentoring and being able to have access to mentors, not just within your own institution, but globally, has really enriched the lives of the members, having access to such a wide range of women within the group that can help with things practically, looking over your job applications, CVs, practicing interview techniques with you, collaboration and grant funding. I know I've had help myself, and it's just great to benefit from that sisterhood and mentorship mentality within the network. The great thing about Amy is when she sees an issue around sort of equality, she really goes for it. She's really forthright, and I don't know where she finds the energy from, to be honest, actually, amongst all the other work that she does for the university, and she does theatre directing outside as well. So she's got all these different strings to her bow, but she still really finds time to be able to support other people.
The overall winner of the Volunteer of the Year Award, staff category, and recipient of the University Medal for Social Responsibility is Dr. Amy Bonsall.
Hi, I'm Holly Smith, student winner of Volunteer of the Year 2020. Receiving this award was just incredible, and it has had such a profound effect on my confidence and self-esteem. I still reap the benefits today, and it remains my proudest achievement at university. This next category recognises our student volunteers. These awards are given in collaboration with the University of Manchester Students' Union. We had an incredibly strong field this year, and as a result, there are several nominees the judges wish to recognise. The first of our commended students is from the Alliance Manchester Business School. She volunteers on the UN Africa Cameroon Association of Active Youth project, looking at support systems for vulnerable children. It's Kaylin Chen. The second commended student studies English literature. She has been a superb mentor with Reach Out, supporting a mentee one-to-one. This is Ella Harris. Our third commended student is from the School of Health Sciences. She volunteers with City Year UK, working with disadvantaged and vulnerable children. This is Hope Coffey. The next commended student studies chemistry. He is an inspirational shift leader for the Student Angels project, going above and beyond to help those sleeping on the streets of Manchester. It's Dennis Rahul. This next commended nomination is for a student from the Alliance Manchester Business School. He also volunteers with the Student Angels project and stepped up during lockdown as a shift leader. This is Michael Cullen. The next commended student studies biomedical sciences. When lockdown happened, she suggested Student Angels should focus on aiding the homeless, which shaped a new direction of the project. This is Mara Carey-Wood. The final commended nomination is from the School of Social Sciences. She led 11 of the 15 Student Angel shifts within the first semester as a first aid trained shift leader. It's Bianca Kanar. We also have a number of highly commended nominees. Our first highly commended nomination is for a student in the Alliance Manchester Business School. She volunteers with Mustard Tree, facilitating art sessions, as well as volunteering with the Body Scheme. It's Amelia Gadelite. Our second highly commended student is from the School of Medical Sciences. She has volunteered on several COVID-19 initiatives, running errands for those at risk, being a volunteer vaccinator, and providing free tuition to GCSE students. It's Tara Baradia. Our third highly commended student is undertaking a Bachelor of Law. She spent the summer helping refugees in Calais, and since she returned, has volunteered with Solidarity, as well as providing English lessons to immigrant families. This is Tessa Durkach. Our next highly commended student studies in the Department of Mathematics. She is the manager of over 60 volunteers with the Blue Letters Left Behind Children Care Centre, which sends letters to vulnerable children in China. This is Jiayu Yang. Our next highly commended student is from the School of Arts, Languages and Cultures. She has been involved in a variety of activities to support the Want Not Waste Sustainability Shop. This is Lucy Andrews. Our next highly commended student studies psychology. She is a co-project leader for the Intergen Buddy Scheme and also volunteers with the organisation Shout, a 24/7 text line as part of their crisis team. This is Victoria Bizova. Our next highly commended student is from the School of Arts, Languages and Cultures. For 2 years, she has helped refugee and asylum seekers with conversational English and is now a project leader for the scheme. It's Abigail Old. Our next highly commended student studies biomedical sciences. Throughout the pandemic, she has been a leader with 2 Brownie units, delivering food parcels to vulnerable families and taught online dance classes. It's Megan Spotswood. The final highly commended student is a medical sciences student. She leads Manchester Outreach Medics, a widening participation society. She has adapted their events online, continuing to help disadvantaged sixth formers get into medical school. This is Alicia Staley. We now move on to the final placings. Our third place student studies English language and English literature. Under her leadership, the Once a Month project has continued to tackle period poverty during the pandemic. She has run fundraising initiatives, started new charity partnerships, and expanded the project to 8 other universities across England. This is Isabel Duffield. Our second place student is from the School of Biological Sciences. As well as being a Brownie leader, she is Assistant Chief Commissioner for Girl Guiding Northwest, making guiding accessible to as many girls as possible. Nationally, she led the Girl Guiding's End Period Poverty campaign, successfully lobbying the government to provide free period products to those in education. This is Emma Dixon. The winner of the student category is studying medicine. When the pandemic hit, he noticed that many healthcare professionals were voicing worries about how to balance their home life and increasing work hours. In response, he formed the Manchester National Health Supporters. More than 450 students signed up to his network to provide help to NHS workers, collecting groceries, babysitting children, walking pets, and staffing receptions at GP surgeries so that they could get on with their day job.
SAFE is involved in many volunteering activities, but the one that is the most memorable is the NHS volunteers. When we think of the totality of his efforts, it resulted in major external activity around the time of the pandemic. And if you imagine a time when NHS workers may not be able to do their jobs because of childcare or dog walking or a whole variety of things, SAFE offered workable solutions and volunteers to help people to do that. They were called the NHS Supporters, and SAFE put out an advert on Facebook when he was aware that healthcare professionals may have problems with the logistics of babysitting or shopping or taxiing, and he put an advert on Facebook to link volunteers with NHS professionals to help with those day-to-day events so they could continue and go to work during the pandemic. SAFE's main role was communication and introduction, so he introduced the volunteers to the NHS workers, and he had to make sure that he considered the logistics of that in terms of the policies, the health and safety, the insurance. He really did look at the bigger picture of the NHS supporters What happened was, it is immeasurable, really. Initially in Manchester, he led more than 450 students who stepped forward to help the NHS workers while they tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. This then led to a national initiative where he joined even more students from across the healthcare professions with a whole variety of NHS professionals. So nationally, there were approximately 19,000 students and key workers who offered to get involved in terms of helping or needing help. And the scheme supported students to contribute thousands of volunteering hours to help the NHS staff. It's phenomenal. It's an absolutely phenomenal number of people to join together. And to manage that actually while you are a medical student during a pandemic, when for a lot of us we were just learning how to make banana bread, it's amazing. It has been my absolute pleasure to support him in these endeavours, and just to be a tiny part of the initiative that he created was a great honour.
The overall winner of the Volunteer of the Year Award, student category, and a recipient of the University Medal for Social Responsibility is Saif Khan.
What brilliant winners. This brings us to the end of the awards. Congratulations to everybody who's been recognised, and many thanks to you all for watching today. Today's winners show just a snapshot of the amazing volunteering which has happened at the university throughout the pandemic. Through a very difficult year, we have seen the best in our students, staff and alumni who've all stepped up to make a difference. We can't thank you enough for all that you've done. To end, we're going to leave you with a short message from organisations that came together earlier this year to take part in the University Student Volunteering Week, which for the first time happened online, of course. Thank you to all of our incredible volunteers.
I just want to say a big thank you to all of the Manchester University students who've given their time to volunteer with SALV this year so that we can help more children living on the streets in Uganda. Thank you.
Arguably, we wouldn't have been able to stay open without the volunteering support from the university students and staff. You guys have either come in and immediately supported us putting together food parcels, giving people toiletries and clothing, helping them get into accommodation, or by bringing your skills and hobbies and interests to supporting or leading one of our online classes and clubs. Collectively, with your support, we've managed to support even more people than we used to before COVID started, and for that, Mustard Tree are very, very grateful.
Thanks to all the sports volunteers who we've had over the years from the Sports Volunteer Scheme.
Our student volunteers at Reach Out in Manchester have been absolutely amazing this year. They are completely integral to allowing us to support hundreds of young people across the region, and we are so, so grateful. You are all wonderful. Thank you so much.
Your perspective has been really helpful for us as a charity, and the MP you've been mentored by, William Ragg, has really enjoyed meeting you and getting to know you. So that's really great as well that you've been able to do that through your volunteering.
To all our physics outreach volunteers in UMPO who've done an amazing job converting their school's workshops to online activities, which has let them work with nearly 300 primary school pupils so far during lockdown. Really well done.
All the team at Healthy Me, Healthy Communities would like to say a big thank you to the student volunteers who have supported our digital development.
Volunteering is really important to us at Sovereign House GH, which is giving the students practical experiences as well as impacting positively on the children we engage with. Thank you for being part of this journey, and we look forward to engaging more students in the future. Shout out to Charlotte Brown, who has been on our social media team recently and been working really hard during the lockdown. Thank you for volunteering with us.
I want to thank all the students at Manchester who've been remote volunteering for Azizi Life. The work you produced was wonderful. It really helped us gain increased sales and donations during the Christmas period. And so just a super thank you from all of us here in Rwanda, particularly the artisans in the communities where we're working. So thanks again.
Hello from Inter-University Manchester North.
Student volunteering is really important to us at Inter-University.
Thank you so much to all our wonderful mentors who have supported our students this year.
So we have been since last year, like running online class, and that was amazing because we managed to attend a lot of kids in Brazil, where we are based in Belo Horizonte, Southeast Brazil. So thank you so much for the all Manchester University student who has been volunteering with us so far.
So we just want to say a huge thank you to all of our student volunteers. We honestly couldn't have done last year and the beginning of this year without you. At Invisible Manchester, because our tours have had to be paused, the work of the volunteers has really helped us pull through, and we've had a couple of volunteers help us with our social media, which has just glowed up. It's been amazing. So I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been involved.
Volunteers have had a particularly important role during the current pandemic. So I'd like to say a big and special thanks to all of our students, whether you're in Manchester, somewhere else in the UK, or indeed somewhere else around the world, for the really important role you've been playing during the global pandemic. So thank you, you really do make a difference.